Kia ora koutou. So this is a video for retroactive jealousy people. Not that we really want to define ourselves as that, really, do we? We don't want to define ourselves by the problem, but you know what I mean, shorthand. So who's this geezer that I'm showing you on the screen? Well, this is a gentleman who I believe is now, he runs a YouTube channel and he's everywhere actually. He used to be known as RDS or RSD Tyler. Now it seems that he's changed his channel name to Owen Cook, which I'm presuming is his real name. He's not somebody that I've followed recently, so forgive me for not being 100% up to date. I want to talk a bit about him, but also kind of broadly as well. So, and this is a video that I've wanted to make for a long time, but I've been a bit scared to make for reasons that might become apparent as we go along. So he used to be, I think he's moved on to other things now, but he used to be a big noise in the pickup movement. What's the pickup movement? Well, the pickup movement is about basically guidance for men who find it hard to get a girlfriend. It tends to be heteronormative. You know, I don't wish to be exclusive by just referring to boyfriend, girlfriend, but forgive me for that. It just makes things a little bit simpler and quicker. And the pickup movement is controversial, very controversial. You know, some people think it's, you know, awful. Some people think it's predatory and aggressive and, you know, misogynist and all kinds of things. And I think that's probably true. I think that is in the mix. It's a wide movement. It's a broad church, and there's lots of different aspects to it. And some people talk about something very similar, but they prefer to call it seduction. So you can see already we're getting into kind of, you know, some difficult territory here, which is hence why I've not gone there before. So I think there's good and bad within this movement. So and RSD Tyler, as he was known, I watched a lot of his videos in the early days of recovering from retroactive jealousy, and without any intention whatsoever of picking up women, because I'm happily married. A lot of people will have seen my beloved on the screen. The last thing I would want is to try and pick somebody up. The last thing I would want really is everyone trying to pick me up at the moment. It's kind of quite funny, because I used to, when I was building the beach cabins, check out the videos for that, I used to occasionally get women come up and hit on me while I was doing that. And they come and say, "Oh, you know, you're very strong," and things like that. And, you know, "Are you good at building?" and all that sort of thing. And I'd be like, "Oh, piss off." I wasn't rude. I never said that, but I was like, you know, I just wasn't interested. I'm not interested. But I was always, you know, I didn't have a clue. You know, single. I haven't been single very much in my life, actually. I've always been in a relationship, which is probably a good thing, because I haven't got a clue about picking up, you know, about not picking up women, but about how to attract a partner and how to make a relationship happen. Let's put it that way. So I was always kind of quite intrigued, and some of this I think is to do with my difficulty to do with being on the autistic spectrum. Interestingly, this guy's, I believe, is on the autistic spectrum as well. So there is a good thing in the pickup movement in that it helps guys who just, you know, really have a difficulty with that to get to a point where if they're attracted to somebody, they can do something about it. They can be appropriate, you know, they can not mess it up or be too scared to make an approach and that kind of thing. The practice method, which often involved, you know, hitting on as many women as possible, just, you know, going out into public places and just doing one after the other, after the other, after the other, you know, or, you know, as a kind of training exercise is obviously, you know, a bit concerning to say the least, really. But some of the philosophy behind this stuff, and he's, RSD Tyler as he was known, it was one of the best of them. He was one of the more ethical, and I think he's probably reached a point. I think be interested to hear from somebody that's up to speed with him and has followed his career and where he's at now. I mean, I could find out by watching a lot of his videos, but I'm busy at the moment, so it's not on the top of my list. But he had a lot of really good things to say, and a lot of the things that came from the pickup movement, and particularly from the better people in the pickup movement, like him, were really useful, and were really useful for a lot of guys with RJ, because a lot of guys with RJ feel very bad. They have that issue that they could never never chat up women, for want of a better word. And we're very bad at kind of finding partners and all this kind of thing, and always seem to be in the friend zone or be rejected, or all those kinds of things. And he's got a lot of psychological stuff that he can offer to guys, and it's also a way to, even if you're in a relationship, it will make you more attractive to your partner. Now, I think, where did I come across this guy first? I came across him. He was recommended by another channel. It was actually a mystical channel. Somebody recommended him, and again, he recommended him not for people that wanted to join the pickup movement and do all that stuff, but for more personal development reasons, and it was a good recommendation. And Zachary Stockhill, I'm not sure whether he's ever directly mentioned him, but Zachary Stockhill's material, a lot of it does seem to resonate with some of the more positive aspects that come from this pickup movement. And I think maybe he directly or indirectly led me in this direction. So there's some stuff that RSD Tyler, Owen Cook, whatever you want to call him, talks about, which is, it's just generally good stuff for guys who are in relationships. A lot of it is about feeling better and confident stuff, but also things like not being needy. So often guys with RJ present as very, very needy, and being needy is one of the biggest sort of sexual turn-offs for women. Whether you're talking about attracting women or a woman that you're in a relationship. If you're needy, her libido will die. Hopefully it can be restored, but needy guys bring out the mothering side in women very often, and kill the sexual side and the attraction side. And I'm not sure whether it's him that said, it might have been Zachary Stockhill, or it might have been RSD Tyler, or it might have been somebody else completely, and forgive me if I've got this wrong, but that relationships can survive without love, but they can't survive without attraction. So the science, if you like, or the art, probably more appropriate, of attraction that people like RSD Tyler, Owen Cook teach is very important if you're in a relationship and you have been a bit needy, and maybe you have issues around feeling like you're not very attractive to women, or you couldn't attract women and stuff like that. So, I mean, he says it far better than I can. I don't know if you can access some of his old videos. I don't know if the RSD Tyler stuff is still on YouTube. This is where I found him, was on YouTube. I just went on YouTube and looked up RSD Tyler, but what came up for the most part was Owen Cook stuff. So if you explore the pickup movement, which I think can be a good idea, I would recommend it, but I also recommend great caution, because there is some misogynistic stuff on there. There's even some really kind of quite nasty, violent kind of incel type stuff that overlaps with this kind of thing. So exercise great caution, but so things to take from it are things that they talk about: frame, holding your frame, being and not being needy, which doesn't mean not being vulnerable and not sharing your feelings and stuff like that, but moving away from that kind of thing. So this is all stuff about being attractive to women and to partners. There's also the kind of controversial thing is there's something called negging, which is taught within these circles, and from what I've learned, and correct me if I've got this wrong, is there seem to be different takes on it. One is that it's humorous teasing, and the other is that it's put downs. But one of the things that they teach is that in order to be attractive to women, you kind of have to, or don't have to, but it's a technique that they use, is that you'll say something negative to them. You'll be disparaging about, you know, some of their qualities, which sounds horrible. You know, it sounds like a horrible thing. Other people say it's just like teasing, and the other thing that people have said is that often, you know, I think RSD Tyler maybe was in California and Hollywood area, and a lot of the parties and the women in that area are wannabe actresses and models and singers and performers and stuff like that. They're very attractive. They value themselves incredibly highly, and they're used to guys kind of what's a polite way of putting it? You know, there isn't a polite way of putting it. Is arse licking basically, and kind of, you know, putting them on a pedestal and looking up to them and flattering them and all that kind of thing. And the guys that come along and saying, yeah, you're not so hot, are deemed more attractive. And sometimes, you know, it's just done in a teasing kind of way. It's interesting. I mean, it's not something I would want to do, apart from, you know, very benign, playful teasing. I wouldn't want to do this in I wouldn't want to put anyone down really in any way. But it's interesting. The guys I know that are the real one, you know, the ones that attract women after women after women, do this a lot. I've watched them do it, and often, you know, women say, "Oh, I can't stand that guy. I hate him. He's this, he's that, and the other." And the next thing, they're in bed together. So I think there's something in it. But if in any case, it's not got much to do with retroactive jealousy and what you might need to take from it. But the reason I mention it is, I want you to be able to take from this movement and from this guy what would be most helpful for you to improve your self-esteem and your confidence and your attractiveness to your partner. That's what I want you to take from it. And what I don't want to happen is for you to go off on some dark tangent into the darker sides of the movement, because I really don't recommend. So it's with great caution that I'm suggesting this. I don't know what else to say really. I wish the RSD Tyler stuff that I watched was more easily accessible, because that's what I would suggest that you watch, if you think this issue applies to you. So there you go. Who was trying to read the subtitles on here while listening to me and thinking, hang on, that's not what Mark's saying? It's easily done. So I don't know how helpful this video is at all really, but if nothing else, it'd be great if it triggers a bit of discussion. I'd love to hear your comments. So thank you for that. I will be back with more retroactive jealousy content and non-retroactive jealousy content. So, you know, it's a real mix. So don't kind of give up on the channel if you're into retroactive jealousy and you think, oh, you know, there's nothing else of retroactive jealousy. I've not stopped doing retroactive jealousy stuff. And if you're here for the other stuff, and you know, you think, oh, I don't want to watch all this retroactive jealousy stuff, don't worry either. It will always alternate and vary. You will get both. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Rangimarie.